What's going on, you guys? The Oakland A's are about to start their wild card game, and I'm really just going to talk more about the season as a whole. Just before the wild card starts, this has been a strange, unusual, crazy, weird season, but the A's got to 97 wins and repeated what they did last year. Through all of it. It's actually amazing how much they fought through to get to 97 wins. They were resilient, they fought, and they proved me wrong, okay? I'll say it, I was wrong. I was wrong, and I was wrong. I thought the pitching staff wasn't good enough to really compete, but they fought through it, even with nobodies in the first half of the season and in the rotation. It's amazing to think. Some of the bad, I'll start with the bad, ugly, and then I'll go with the good later. So, first of all, there were many bad things to point out. First of all, is the bullpen, biggest flaw. Blake Trinan, big step backwards. We knew he was going to regress because last year's numbers were unsustainable, but to just completely fall off the map and not be useful at all, that's terrible. And then Lou Trevino, flash in the pan right now. He had a terrible last 2 months of the year before, and then it just carried over into this year. He was off most of the year. We're not going to see them. So then Liam Hendricks had to step in and take the role of closer, and eventually took it, and it worked out okay. But a lot of this bullpen, way too scary. I didn't like what I saw as a whole, and that cost them a lot of games. It's right with the MLB trend because a lot of relievers around the league are bad. They're all taking time bombs, and you don't know what you get out of relievers year by year. But this was a rough year for the bullpen, and if you cut half of those games they blew, they'd be contending for the division rather than a wild card spot. So that's the first thing. Second, Bob Melvin. I didn't like what I saw from him. He put some guys in the wrong situation as well. There were times he put a guy in for 3 straight days, or he would take Matt Olson out for a pinch runner. What's up with these kind of calls? I really hated what I saw from Melvin, and it's sad. You win 97 games and you still dislike your manager. Like, if he's fired, I'm not going to lose sleep. I'm actually going to be fine with it because his legacy is not being urgent enough when it counts, which is going to really be measured in this playoff game I'll get to later. So, yeah, those are the two big issues I had with this team. A third minor thing would be home run dependency. I'm seeing teams. Chris Davis hitting home runs, okay, we're used to it. But some of these other guys who are just hitting home runs as a team, they had, I think, a team record for most home runs this year. I would trade some of those for gappers when there's guys on base because situational hitting, man, it's a concern. They're home run dependent in a lot of this league. The ball was flying around everywhere in MLB, so you could see it's right with the rest of the league. But yeah, there needs to be better situational hitting, and that's the last couple weeks we saw a lot of home run dependency. So that's not good. There's more ways to score than just a home run. If there's a guy on second and third, and what do you know? What are you going to do? You're just going to have a 3-run home run or nothing? Is that what's going to happen? That's not cool. So those are the issues I had with this team, but there were many positives. Obviously, the corner defense. Matt Chapman, Matt Olson. Chapman had a really sketchy year with his bat besides home runs, but the defense, no question. Those two guys were reasons why this team won a lot of games. Defensively, people take first baseman defense for granted, but Matt Olson did a lot, especially you look at how the team did without him versus with him. They missed like a full month or something with him, and they still were able to overcome all of that. And then they overcame the rotation, the other big positive. Like Montas was popped, he got caught, but the other guy stepped in. Brett Anderson was healthy. I don't know what's wrong with that. Something's wrong with that picture because he's usually injured. The rotation did its job, and they were able to get some affordable pieces without giving up too much. Homer Bailey had a couple awful outings, but thankfully he rebounded and looked a lot better for what they gave up. I'll take it. Tanner Roark, obviously not kind of a mixed bag. Tanner Roark, he had some sketchy moments. He allows a lot of home runs, but he is better than some of those other guys in AAA that you don't want to see. So I'll give him that. And then of course Sean Manaea's back. Mike Fiers was a big thing for this rotation. So you got to like what you're seeing. And then there's of course the future, Luzardo and Puck, who got some snippets this year making their debuts. So good for them. So far, this A's team, you can say you should be happy and thrilled they got 97 wins. But that could all end in one wild card game. The fact that this comes down to one game is cruel. I'm not going to question the system. I think wild card teams don't deserve a big reward for getting in. You're going to be punished. So the game's at home. This is the big monkey that's been on the team's back for years and pretty much decades. In the last 20 years, the A's have not won an all-or-nothing game at all. They've been 0 for 8 in this department, whether it's a wild card game or a Game 5 in the divisional series. So this would be monumental if this team can just break that glass ceiling or that stone wall that's been blocking this franchise. I'm tired of that record, and I'm greedy, but this determines if this is a successful season or not. Because if you lose, you're right at status quo. You might say there's still a window or there's players coming back, but as a franchise, you're at status quo of never winning a game that's all or nothing because either the moment's too big for them, the bats go cold, everything just goes wrong in October when the A's have played. Whether it's a single turning into a double against the Royals, like there was no defense at catcher. Or we think about how, of course, the pitching last year, the pitching just destroyed the A's hitting from the Yankees, and they got overwhelmed with an opener. Now, the good news is Sean Manaea is pitching this game. I would love it if Fiers was like the second relief guy in support. But who knows what they're doing. So there's a lot of things that, of course, in baseball you can't really analyze. You're hitting, you're not pitching well, or you're doing either well, so on. If I'm Bob Melvin, I'm going to be really just seeing how urgent his managing is. Is he going to take a guy out early? Is he going to put in good players the whole way through? Is he going to be soft? That's Bob Melvin's legacy, guys. His urgency in that wild card game last year showed. He put Trinan in too many batters too late. And in 2013, he's still remembered for putting in some of the wrong pitchers when the game needed to be close. Like, he was managing some games like it's June in October. So I don't know what to think about this group until this comes around. Once again, they do got the home fans. You could talk about playing in front of 50,000 people. Fine. It didn't work in 2000, 2002, 2003, 2012, and 2013. Now the good news is they're not facing Justin Verlander. But you got the Tampa Bay Rays, who are also a quality opponent. Those guys are resilient. They keep fighting. No lead is safe. And Charlie Morton is probably the biggest option and probably the worst case scenario when it came to possible starting options who I thought the A's could have seen if it were the Indians or Rays. So yeah, the bats got to come alive. I don't know what to think about the bats. It all comes down to one game. How much are they working? They could say all this fluff. There's all these fluffy reports from the media. That's how the market is. Actions on the field are going to say more than what your words are. If this team gets it done, whether it's ugly by one run or a blowout, it is a relief. It's a monkey off this team's back. And they'd be playing with house money the rest of the way. I'm perfectly fine with that. But if they lose, the black cloud still hangs over the franchise. And I'm tired of that. That's all I think about is how this team's going to find ways to lose in October. That's all this team has done for most of my lifetime. And the least talented team in 2006 is the only team to win a playoff series. So what's it going to be? Is the offense going to be home run dependent? Are they going to swing for the fences? Or are they going to be smart? Are they going to take smart plate discipline approaches? I don't know. Once again, the moment has to be not too big for these players. That's been the thing about the A's. The moment has always been too big for them. The big stage, everything's on your back, all the pressure's on you, and they've crumbled in the past. You just have to hope that these players learned from last year and take a step forward from this year. And as said, this determines to me if it's a successful season or not. Otherwise, you're at status quo. So let me know what you all thought. I mean, I also forgot to mention in the positives, Marcus Semien. What a season from him. I mean, he had an MVP caliber season, and 4 years ago, everyone would have laughed at you if you said that. But he does deserve this year for the timely hits he made. Pretty adequate defense, and, I mean, a 30-plus homer season. You never thought you'd see that from Semien, but he was batting leadoff, and he still had, I think, 92 RBIs when you're batting leadoff or near the front of the order. That's pretty amazing when you think about it. So we'll see. The season can just blow up in your face, or it could continue by more than one game, but we'll see. Otherwise, go A's, and I'll talk about the game after it's over on Wednesday. See you then.